It's an American institution, the Chevy Corvette. Introduced in 1953, it's gone from a concept car that was put into production due to consumer demand to a supercar spitting out 650 horsepower. So, it's no surprise that the latest incarnation is a bit insane. The $111,000 Corvette Z06 Carbon 65 is a mouthful of a name. In fact, this car can get from 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds quicker than you can actually say the name. 2.9 seconds, that is quick. The car is everything you would expect from a Corvette. But even the vehicle conceived in America's post-war prosperity can get really nerdy. So let's get all these sports car bits out of the way. It has a 6.2 liter V8 engine that outputs 650 horsepower. Also, 650 foot-pounds of torque. It's huge, it's powerful, it just takes off. Because of all the carbon, it's lightweight. So you got carbon everywhere on this car. You got carbon on the hood, you got carbon on the ground effects, you got a carbon steering wheel, you got a carbon spoiler back there. There's carbon everywhere. But the car actually feels lighter. It feels lighter than the older Corvettes. It is definitely a driver's car. I just wish they had sent me the manual transmission instead of the automatic. That carbon diet translates into a sports car that feels lighter than you would expect, with the requisite twitchy steering and handles corners like a powerful rear-wheel drive car, so best learn how to drift when you push it. It has acceleration that throws you into your seat, and if you're not careful, goes through your tires quicker than your old college roommate went through your stash of ice cream. Plus, for the purpose of aerodynamics, just look how low it is. It's so close to the ground that I couldn't put it into the Engadget garage, or my own personal garage, not without destroying all that carbon fiber. There we go, it's a nice scrape. To top it all off, it's a convertible. I'm a firm believer that at some point in everybody's life, they should own a convertible. It doesn't have to be something like this. You don't need to spend $100,000 on a sports car that doesn't have a top. But you should have something that's a convertible.
This Geo Metro convertible is no different.
So it has a ton of power, impressive cornering, and a throaty exhaust. The Corvette is built for gearheads, but it's also built for data nerds. If you've ever been to a track day, you might have noticed that a lot of the cars that are racing around that afternoon usually have maybe a GoPro in them, some sort of camera, and sometimes even have computers that are logging data. Now, Corvette decided, you know what? Let's just put that in the vehicle. I mean, just look at this car. Somebody at some point is going to put this on a track, and with that in mind, Chevy created the Performance Data Recorder, or the PDR. With it, the car has a camera which is mounted behind the rearview mirror, and it records all this information. It records information about your steering, about your acceleration, about your braking, about your G-forces, just a ton of data that you can look at later and determine when you screwed up going around that last corner. The PDR resides in the vehicle's infotainment system. So within 2 taps, you could be recording a lap or a trip to get some milk. The PDR feature has 3 video overlays: track, sport, and performance. Each one has its own specific set of highlighted data. Or you can shoot a completely clean video without the tax, speedo, or other information blocking your view. Then after your run, you can sit in the parking lot and watch your footage. Plus, when you shoot it in that version, the front of the car from the camera kind of looks like the Mach 5 from Speed Racer.
Go Speed Racer, go Speed Racer, go!
But the real power of PDR is found when you take the videos to your Windows computer. With the Cosworth companion app, you can see not only the video, but highlighted information on things like angle of steering, the amount of pressure applied to the accelerator and brake, which gear you were in, and your drive overlaid onto a map. The result is a detailed record with 34 channels of performance data. Plus, it records audio of everything, including your voice and whatever music you're listening to. During my tests, sometimes the music overpowered the roar of the engine. So just keep that in mind if you're embarrassed by your Kenny G jams. The videos themselves are 720p HD MPEGs, which it's not the greatest resolution, but it is good enough for you to throw up on Facebook and brag to your friends. In addition to recording your races or your spirited jaunts on mountain roads, the Corvette's infotainment system, while not new, is good enough. Its support for CarPlay and Android Auto makes it even more palatable. But the dash does have a fun feature beyond hooking up your iPhone. The screen for the infotainment system slides down to reveal a secret storage area. Well, it's not that secret because of this giant button, but it's cool to find any additional storage in a car that has a trunk that has just enough room for 2 pieces of carry-on luggage. The Corvette also has a cool 0 to 60 timer that starts when you hit the accelerator, a tire temperature gauge, and it'll measure your G-forces and when you lose traction. But alas, it doesn't have any semi-autonomous features, no adaptive cruise control or lane keep assist. But you buy a Corvette to drive it, especially one for over $100,000. And while the PDR is an exceptional feature for the vehicle, you don't have to empty your 401k and max out every credit card to get it. The PDR feature is also available as a $1,300 option on the Camaro 1LE that starts at about $27,000. So, you know, keep your retirement money. The Corvette Z06 Carbon 65 is an outstanding convertible that should warm the hearts of car nuts and data nerds. But it's completely impractical, and you'll need a second mortgage just to pay for the 16 miles per gallon you'll be getting while driving this thing around. In other words, it's the nearly perfect sports car.